Okay, this is another quadratic formula example, so we're going to see what happens to it as we work through. So we have x squared minus 3x plus 5 equals 0. So a will be 1, b will be negative 3, and c is 5. The quadratic formula, once again, x is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So let's start to fill that in. And we have x is equal to minus negative 3 plus or minus the square root, that's negative 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5 all over 2 times 1. Well, again, let's start to work this out. And it's going to be minus negative 3 is just plus 3. 3 plus or minus the square root. Negative 3 squared is 9. Negative 4 by 1 is negative 4 by 5. Negative 4 by 5 is negative 20. All over 2 times 1 is 2. So we have x is equal to 3 plus or minus the square root. 9 take away 20 is negative 11 over 2. Now here's the problem. Okay, here's the problem now. The problem is that you cannot get the square root of a negative number. You can't find the square root of a negative number. Now later on, in Algebra 2, we'll introduce the idea of complex numbers and imaginary numbers, and we'll see that there are things that we actually can do with this. But for right now, all I want you to know is that there's no real number that is the square root of a negative number. So we can't find the square root of a negative number. So what we say is that there are no real solutions. Okay? No real solutions to the equation what was the equation again? X squared minus 3x plus 5 equals 0. X squared minus 3x plus 5 equals 0. Now, an interesting thing to do would be to figure out what that looks like graphically. Now, remember, the solutions to a quadratic or equation are where the quadratic function hits the x-axis. So let's look at this. Let's bring this one over and see where it hits the x-axis. That's just some stuff from a previous example, so let's clear that screen. We're going to go into y equals, and we're going to have y equals x squared minus 3x plus 5. Y equals x squared minus 3x plus 5 is this bit here. Let's bring it back. Okay, and if we do zoom 6, which is the standard zoom, you see that the graph doesn't ever cross the x-axis. And that's just further confirmation that there are no solutions. Remember, the solutions to an equation are the x-coordinates where the graph hits the x-axis. But since this one never hits the x-axis, the equation has no real solutions. Okay? Now the word real is a sort of a technical word in this sense, and again it won't be fully explained until you're in Algebra 2. So if you say no solutions, that's okay for me. I'm going to be happy with that. Later on you'll see why the word real is actually important. So if you want to get in the habit of saying it now and using it, I'd encourage that. But if you don't, if you just want to write down no solutions, then you won't be penalized for it this year. Okay? Thanks for watching. Best luck with all of this section.